Our parents are the roots of our lives, nurturing and sacrificing for us. It's our duty to honor and care for them, or we may find ourselves like the three brothers, burdened by regret too heavy to bear. My name is Umaimah Aliyu Chika. Follow me as I read the fifth chapter of my book, Three Brothers. I'll start in 3, 2, 1. In a mega city, there were three siblings, each living separately in a luxurious mansion. Their names were Kuro, Ako, and Hisu. Kuro worked in a crude oil refinery, Ako was a federal worker, and Hisu was a successful businessman in the export business. They were all successful in their various occupations. Although they were wealthy and lived in a bustling city, their parents lived in a remote village and had to survive as farmers because their sons refused to share even a small portion of their wealth with them. Their father, Arima, was a journalist before he retired. When his sons were growing up, Arima made a lot of sacrifices for them. Though he did not earn much, he tried to make them live the best life possible. They lived in the city before he retired. In order to pay for his three children's university fees, he sold his house in the city and then retired to the village. 7 years after they all graduated and were successful, Arima fell ill. Their mother, Bakako, called her sons and requested some money to treat her husband, their biological father. The sons always gave flimsy excuses whenever sending a meager amount for the treatment of their father. On several occasions, their mother suggested taking their father to a good hospital in the city for better treatment, but they kept putting off the request by saying that they needed to have a meeting first to decide what to do. Whenever she put a call to Kuro, the eldest, to ask for assistance, he would pretend to be busy and advise her to contact Ako. Ako would then ask her to call Hisu. Hisu would then advise her to go to Kuro. They were not having any intention in helping their ailing father. When their father realized that his sons did not have any plans to render him assistance, he decided to sell one of his two farms and use the money gained to pay his medical bills. But the money was still not enough. The illness got critical. The mother called her sons in tears, informing them that their dad's illness was very severe. It was then the siblings decided to show a little concern to their father. They all agreed and managed to send a meager sum of 65,000 naira only as their contribution for their father's medical treatment. Both parents were heartbroken by their children's behavior. Hours turned into days, days into weeks, and weeks into months, until finally, news reached the children of their father's demise. The children were pretentiously sad and broken-hearted at the news. They arranged for a lavish funeral that cost 50 million naira, the amount at which they could have saved their father's life by using 1/8 of it. The occasion was well organized and held in their father's village. They spent so much money that it was rumored to be the most expensive funeral held in the village. They did it mainly to impress their friends and the villagers. News spread far and wide about the death of Arima, and many people came from other villages because of their father's good reputation. Among the people who came was Arima's close friend, Usu. Uso was among the few people who knew about the brothers' cruelty towards their parents. Arima narrated it to him many times before he kissed the dust. He decided to expose them. After the pivotal part of the funeral, he was brought up to say his last words to his close friend. As he stepped onto the stage with a microphone in his hand, he made up his mind to tell a story. Arima was a good man. He once told me a story that has stayed with me till date. It was about a man who had 3 children. His children were very rich. They lived lavishly. Whenever one of them or their children were sick, they hurried to a foreign country to get treatment. Yet when one of their parents was sick, they didn't give a hoot. Uso proceeded with his powerful speech. Every day, they ate dinner that was worth the meal of their parents for a month. Their parents lived in a village while they lived in a big city. If they had wealth, they could have brought their parents from the village to the city. Their children went on numerous vacations while they left their parents in a country suffering with stress. They pretended like they cared, but let me tell you, they didn't. They were beasts among men for abandoning their parents, who sacrificed everything for them. They simply forgot they existed. He then paused and looked at the three brothers, who looked at him like they had seen a ghost. They understood that he was talking about them. Uso continued, When their father got very ill, they just ignored him, thinking he would survive somehow. When their father succumbed to his illness, they arranged a funeral so grand that if they had used 1/8 of the money spent, they could have saved their father. All the people that attended the event understood who he is referring to, even though he did not directly say so. They understood because they knew that was how the children were living their lives so extravagantly and lackadaisically. There was murmuring all around. People started to leave one by one. The disgrace that filled the three brothers was one that they could remember all their lives. They shed tears profusely. They went back to the city full of shame. To this day, the reason they treated their parents inhumanely remains a mystery. So that's it for today's story. Thank you. Bye.